Hey everybody, it's Matt Electric here, back in the Battle Stadium for some more VGC, and of course it is Wednesday, which means we are continuing with this Blastoise team that we started using on Monday. I believe we got a win and a loss with it, although we didn't actually see Shell Smash from Blastoise. I had a few games with it on stream as well. I really struggled to get the Shell Smash off, and Blastoise actually do things. Really not a fan of Water Spout on it, which is not ideal, but if you do want to give this team a try, you do have the code in the description below. Let's crack on into it then. Interesting team. So we've got a Lapras and a Dragapult, which are the two not very interesting Pokemon. But then we've got Toxtricity, Togekiss, also not that interesting. But we've got Alcremie and Toxapex. Now, Toxapex is a little bit awkward because it has super high defenses, but it's got really low HP, which makes Dynamax amazing for it, being able to double its HP and really use those defensive stats to its advantage. Whether or not he actually Dynamaxes it, I don't know. I mean, we know how much of a problem Dusclops is behind Lapras's Aurora Veil. Could be a similar situation with Toxapex as well. Because I look at this team, I just don't see where Blastoise can break through it. Like, we can't do anything to Toxapex. Alcremie's got a stupid high special defense. I'm not even convinced if I want to bring Blastoise, but the team is built around it, so I feel like I'm obligated to a little bit. So we're going to go Raichu Blastoise. I suppose Rotom. And Togekiss. Yeah, not sure about this one. Not sure about this one. It's a pretty difficult matchup with two bulky water types there. We do have things like Flash Cannon, which can hit Lapras for neutral damage, but it's just... with Aurora Veil up, it's just not going to do any damage. It's not going to do any damage, and... I believe Blastoise gets Aura Sphere, which I would much prefer to Flash Cannon. I mean, you look at the Fairy types running around, and the most prominent one is Togekiss, which you can hit with Ice Beam anyway. So here is the Lapras, which of course could end up just going for Freeze Dry. I think it makes the most sense. Honestly, I can see how Alcremie go and protect it. I think I'm going to take Nuzzle into the Lapras. That will allow us to... that would allow us to get it paralyzed. And that obviously decreases the chance of him being able to set the Aurora Veil. I can go for Shell Smash with Blastoise here. I do think he protects with Alcremie, not wanting to take a potential fake out. But we'll see how this goes. One thing that hadn't crossed my mind is this would trigger a weakness policy, but I don't think he's weakness policy because I don't see the point in running Decorate Alcremie along with a weakness policy. I feel like that's slightly overkill and it's unnecessary. No, of course it's weakness policy. Of course it's weakness policy because that item, along with Dynamax, is a kind of problem for this game. I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit... like, essentially, not needing a move slot to get +2 in attack and special attack is... it's a little bit ridiculous. Raichu may be Assault Vesta, but we're not taking a hit, and you're just going to go for G-Max Resonance here. Going to set the Aurora Veil, yeah. And that's game over, because Lapras is a bit dumb, to be honest. And even if I'd gone for the Paralysis and Alcremie, it's still likely that he just goes for Decorate anyway. So there was nothing I could really do in this situation. I suppose here I could force him to go for a G-Max Resonance and hit Blastoise. See, this is the point as well with Mystic Water. I'm like a Water Spout here, I suppose. And we can see what, because I'm going to assume he's going to be Shell Armor. I don't see the point in being Water Absorb if he's got a Toxapex, if he's got a Toxtricity on his team, I don't see the point in him running Water Absorb. But he's got nothing weak to Water on his team, so. I could just like Water Spout and hope for the best. I could also go for a Max Steel Spike here. Yeah, well, Ally Switch and see if I can get him to, I suppose, go for the Ice move into Blastoise. See if I can remove this Alcremie. This Alcremie does have monstrous special defense though. It's like base 130 or something ridiculous. So that's sat behind Aurora Veil. I know we're at +2 special attack, but with the amount of Lapras running around, I think it's a bit. I think it's criminal that you're not running Aura Sphere on this Blastoise. I'm going to be honest. I think you've got to run Aura Sphere. I mean, it's not like Blastoise gets stabbed from Flash Cannon, is it? So, Rutten goes for the Ally Switch, expecting the G-Max Resonance. And Max Steel Spike comes out. It's a +2. It will go through the Aurora Veil, obviously, because we've got the stat boost. Does a lot of damage, not enough to take the knockout, unfortunately. And the defense boost isn't going to be that helpful unless there's a physical Lapras, which I find highly unlikely. And he's going to get to +6 special attack, +6 attack Lapras. Okay, this is a problem. Oh, he's fully paralyzed. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love that. So it's Alcremie Lapras is the lead. Max Steel Spike is super obvious into Alcremie here. So I suppose I could just double target the Lapras. Maybe I go Leaf Storm. I just don't see Thunderbolt doing much damage. That's the thing. I just don't see it. I just don't see how much damage it's going to do. Nonetheless, he actually withdraws the Alcremie, which is fine for me. That's absolutely fine. Probably going Toxtricity, yeah? No, Toxapex. Okay. Blastoise literally can't hit this Toxapex either. So, if I lose Rotom here, it's basically game over. This team just auto loses to bulky water types. I think I said that in the first game, on the first day as well, back on Monday. I'm pretty sure I said I was really scared of bulky water types. We get very lucky with the paralysis. 2 paras out of 3 turns. Very, very happy with that. Unfortunately, it wasn't 3 out of 3, because if I could have got that, that would have been incredible. I'm going to be honest. I suppose we'll just target this Lapras then. Let's go for the Flash Cannon. Let's go for the Leaf Storm. If I can get rid of the Lapras, that will be in a pretty good situation. So Max Steel Spike comes out from Blastoise. That's solid damage. And Leaf Storm should finish it. Maybe I should have just stuck with Thunderbolt, but I just wanted to make sure I was knocking it out. Rotom goes for the Leaf Storm. Amazing. So that is a very, very threatening Lapras gone. Very, very threatening Lapras. Blastoise here can now go for Water Spout. We're going to see a Toxic come out from this thing, which is very annoying. So he's obviously playing the long game here with Toxic. I'm going to immediately switch out Rotom here. I'm just going to try and make this sort of a Rotom Toxapex late game. Because if I can just apply a lot of pressure onto that Toxapex in a 2v1 scenario, then that's going to help me deal with its high defenses. So Lapras is gone. We know you've got Toxapex, which came out, and we know you've got Toxtricity here. Okay. So Toxtricity, I don't think survives a Water Spout. I'm going to be honest. At full HP, I'm not convinced you're living a Water Spout. He goes Togekiss here, which actually has Serene, so that is another way of me potentially beating the... Maybe I want to do that then. Oh no, I definitely need to switch. He may end up going for a Poison move, but I think he's going to have to focus on the electric attacks on the Blastoise. So Raichu would have been really, really useful to keep, but unfortunately Raichu is dead, so... Let's click Water Spout. We're at +2 special attack. He does have the Aurora Veil, but this is a very, very high-powered move from the Blastoise has here. It is an extremely high-powered move. He does go for the Protect, as Blastoise fires off a Water Spout. How much is this going to do to Toxtricity? Probably not very much. I mean, that's not bad damage considering there's an Aurora Veil up and it's resisted. So I'll take that. And he does go for the Toxic here into Blastoise, which is fine. Let's go for the Water Spout. And this is the problem with Water Spout, yeah? So, you guys can see it clear as day. The more HP that Blastoise has chipped away, the less damage Water Spout's going to be doing. Which is what I would much prefer. Oh, Aurora Veil is down. That's pretty big. Do I Air Slash and go for flinches? The thing is, I could see Toxtricity switching out because he's going to want to try and stall out my block. Do you care about stalling out Blastoise, or would you just want to try and knock it out? I'm tempted to Life Dew, but I think I'm better off just attacking, to be honest. I'm just trying to get rid of this Toxtricity. So Blastoise does fire up a Water Spout. +2 special attack, of course, and Toxtricity just drops. With the Aurora Veil down, we're doing huge damage to the Toxapex as well. Of course SwSh misses. That's a 95% accurate move, and it misses. Of course it does. Of course it does. So I think in this situation, I could see a double protect coming out from Alcremie and Blastoise. Sorry, Alcremie and Toxapex, just to try and stall out my Tox, or try and stall out the Toxic Poison. So I think my best thing to do here is probably to Life Dew. That will heal up my Togekiss and my Blastoise, and put us into a situation where, you know, we might be able to continue to deal big damage with Water Spout, at least for another couple of turns. So let's go for that Life Dew. Water Spout will obviously knock out the Alcremie. All three of my Pokemon poisoned, which is not ideal. Toxapex does get Haze, and it also does get Recover, which I'm a little bit scared of. So there is the Protect from Alcremie. Like I said, I expected double Protect here, which is exactly why I've gone for Life Dew. He actually just tries to take the Water Spout here with Toxapex. Maybe he just does the Recover and not Protect. Water Spout, barely going to do enough. Or not even going to do enough. That's the wrong English, Matt. Togekiss is going to go for the Life Dew. Maybe I should have went for Dazzling Gleam instead, to make sure I can take the knockout. And that's, of course, going to get Blastoise back up to a decent amount of HP. Well, full HP. And we do see the Recover. That's unfortunate. That's super unfortunate. So this turn, I think we Water Spout and Air Slash the Toxapex. That'll prevent, well, that gives us a very high chance of flinching him. 60% to be exact. So if we can stop him going for a Recover and hit him with an Air Splash and a high-powered Water Spout, then with some luck, we should be able to finish this game off in the next couple of turns. But this flinch is going to be pretty important that I get it. He goes for the double protect. Doesn't get it. Oh, he does actually have Baneful Bunker. Okay, so you do have some kind of protect. I thought you did. But this is a problem, right? Because Water Spout's going to be doing less and less damage now. It's going to be doing less and less damage. As I've already said, though, we do have the opportunity of getting flinches. I could also go for Flash Cannons and try and go for a special defense drop. But the bulky water issue is a big problem. I just need to get him to a point where he's low enough so that a Thunderbolt from... Rotom can finish him off. He's going to just recover Baneful Bunker spam, right? He's going to recover Baneful Bunker spam. So we'll go for the Water Spout. How much are we doing now? Probably not nowhere near as much. Yeah, not even close to being as much. Super important we get this flinch with Togekiss. Super important we get this flinch. There it is! He can Baneful Bunker next turn, but I can predict that actually and just switch out Blastoise here. Bring in the Rotom. And really put him into a situation where... is he running Black Sludge or anything? No, he's got to go for a Baneful Bunker. We'll switch into Rotom. We'll go for the Air Slash as well. Just in case he doesn't. And so that still gives me a chance of flinching him. But this should be game. Drop my pen. Expecting the Baneful Bunker because he's obviously going to want additional poison damage. There it is. Beautiful. We switch in my Electric type, which can obviously hit with some decent damage with Thunderbolt. Leaf Storm not super effective due to that poison typing. And we can wrap this game up. Well, we should be able to wrap this game up anyway. So Blastoise does actually put in quite a bit of work here, despite the horrible matchup. Certainly keeping Rotom out in the back was hugely helpful for me in making sure I could finish this game off. I just noticed a really evil combination of Dark Pulse plus... He goes for a second Baneful Bunker. Not going to work for him, as Thunderbolt should finish this game. Air Slash is a 60% chance to finish, and I think Dark Pulse is it 20 or 30? It might be 20. Well, that's not a bad flinch chance there, is it? You don't have a bad flinch chance if you go for both those moves. I didn't need to, though, and that is going to be a very nice victory for us in our first game on a Wednesday. This is looking like a long video. We're 15 minutes in already. But I thought that was a good game. It was a tough matchup where he had nothing weak to water, but the important thing was that we removed that Toxicity because we were super weak to it. We went for that first turn Shell Smash. And that allowed us to do some big damage once the Aurora Veil was gone. We did get extremely lucky with the paralysis, don't get me wrong. We got very lucky with it. But you know, if my opponent wanted to play the long game with Toxicity, then he should be running Light Clay. If he runs Light Clay, he's got a much higher chance of winning because I'm doing a lot less damage with the Water Spout. So, my opponent had an offensive Lapras, but had a defensive strategy. Don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Let's continue on into today's second game, though. Nonetheless, if you're watching this and you don't know that I stream, you can follow me on Twitch by clicking the link in the description. You can just follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Discord will give you notifications for everything, and we're always talking team building. Over the next few days on stream, though, we're going to be looking at building a team that I'm in a tournament over the next weekend, or it starts at the weekend. I've got to build a team for it through it. And the top 30 Pokemon from April's Pikalytic statistics are banned, which makes things interesting because I've got to try and figure out a way of trying to counter Gyarados and Ninetales and things like that without using, you know, the common counter. So it'll be a really interesting tournament. So if you are interested in that, make sure you join for Wednesday stream will already have gone by the time you see this, but certainly for Thursday stream. So we're looking at Tita, a Sylveon, a Primarina, a Serena, a Grimmsnarl, and a Whimsicott. So the first thing I noticed, he's got both Grimmsnarl and Whimsicott as Prankster users. That's a huge problem because if he's got any kind of speed control, then that's going to put Blastoise under quite a bit of pressure. Arcanine looks nice here as a way of dealing with Serena and Tyranitar. The only things it's really scared of is that Primarina. So if he doesn't lead Primarina, then we're pretty fine. So I could lead Arcanine and Rotom, and at least that would give me something to deal with the Primarina, right? And I could also go for Will-O-Wisp on certain things. This team doesn't have a lot of speed control regardless. I suppose I could lead Clefairy and start going for Icy Winds, which wouldn't be a bad option instead. But if he leads Primarina, then I could be in trouble. I think we go Clefairy, Blastoise. I mean, Togekiss actually could have been really useful in this game. Togekiss could have been really useful. Maybe I should have bought Togekiss. But I haven't bought Clefairy yet, and so it'll be interesting to see how much use we can get out of Icy Wind. There's no competitive user, there's no Milotic, so we're pretty safe to sort of spam Icy Wind. Icy Wind always used to be a really good speed control move. I used to run a Cresselia, which had both Trick Room and Icy Wind. And it would just be the ultimate speed control Pokemon, because it just wouldn't die. And then you could either go Trick Room if the opponent were faster than you, could go Icy Wind if they were sort of same sort of speed tier as you. And if I wanted to go faster mode, you know, it would just work brilliantly because the team consisted of things like Salamence, but it also had things as slow as Mach. So he does actually leave Primarina Sylveon here, which is not a good matchup for Arcanine at all. So we'll bring in the Clefairy, and we will go for a Thunderbolt into. Mate, this is such an awkward lead because there's no Steel types on this team. I don't think at all. It just creates a really awkward situation because Sphero types are so prominent. I could leave Storm. I feel like he Dynamaxes though, so I'm not going to leave Storm. I'll go for Thunderbolt. Primarina is something that we need to remove. If I can get rid of Primarina, then Blastoise is going to be put into a much better situation. He actually switches out the Primarina immediately to bring in Whimsicott. And I'm expecting a Hyper Voice here, so Clefairy is definitely the right play. Definitely the right play. We were able to break the Focus Sash, which is fantastic. And Sylveon goes for the Hyper Voice, of course. So I will want to keep Rotom alive. I'll absolutely want to keep Rotom alive here. I'm very tempted to click Icy Wind and just switch out into Arcanine. But I don't know if I really need to Icy Wind here. I think going for Life Dew is going to do me more good in the long run. Just being able to heal up Arcanine. I don't want to ring a Blastoise just in case he's running things like. Well, Blastoise doesn't want to take a Pixelate boosted Hyper Voice, so. Even with Frengar. So we're just going to switch in Arcanine. It's a good match to bring both Pokemon here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Of course, he could go for Tailwind, which is going to put us into quite a severe issue with Primarina running around. It'd be nice if Arcanine was maybe Assault Vest instead. Oh, we actually see a Helping Hand. Very interesting. As the Hyper Voice booms. Not quite enough to take out Clefairy. Not quite enough, as Life Dew goes off, and that's going to put Arcanine back up to a decent amount of HP. It would not surprise me at all here if Sylveon switches out into Primarina. But this could be a really good opportunity for me to just remove that Whimsicott from play. A really good opportunity. But the thing is, if he keeps a Whimsicott just to set up Tailwind, and then switches out Sylveon instead. Oh, you've got... Surely you take out... Yeah, okay. Let's go Life Dew again, and let's go for a Flablets into Whimsicott. This might be the wrong play. He just clicks Helping Hand again. Okay. So, Clefairy is going to be gone. Really not as bulky as what many people seem to think it is. But I don't tend to like Clefairy because of that reason. We are going to lose it here though, unfortunately. However, that doesn't mean we get a free switch into... We do get a free switch back out into Rotom, who can obviously threaten out the Primarina. As Arcanine eats the Citrus Berry. Yeah, so I'm quite happy I didn't waste any turns then on Icy Wind. It would have been completely irrelevant because he never went for Tailwind. So you led Primarina Sylveon with Whimsicott in the back, and we've just seen Primarina come back out here. Which of course is threatened. I don't think he's got Serena in the back. He might have Tyranitar in the back. Part of me is really thinking Dynamax Rotom and just click Max Overgrowth. Part of me is really thinking that. I'd like Snarl here on Arcanine. That'd be super useful, but we don't have it, unfortunately. Because whatever he's got in the back, Blastoise does have a super effective attack for it, right? So I don't think I need to Dynamax it. Okay, so I want to Dynamax my Rotom. He ends up just switching out. Now, it is actually Serena. So he's really wanting to keep this this Primarina safe. I'm using my Dynamax this sort of early now. This may have been a mistake. I thought because I switched out Rotom first turn... Oh no, I didn't switch out Rotom first turn before, did I? I thought I switched out Rotom first turn before, but I didn't. I switched out second turn. Well, Arcanine's going to go for Flablets here regardless into the Sylveon, which is going to do some massive, massive damage. Unfortunately, I don't know... well, we should take a Hyper Voice. Max Overgrowth is going to come out from Rotom. And that's not going to do bad damage at all. Not bad at all. I suppose the positive thing here is we have a hell of a lot of offensive pressure on the field right now. We are Okaberry, so we are going to take the Mystical Fire absolutely fine. The problem with that, though, is he is going to get that special defense drop, which is super unfortunate. And we're not going to get the Grassy Terrain boost because we're Levitating with Rotom, which is also unfortunate, whereas the Serena will get it. I'm tempted to go for a Max Overgrowth into that Serena. Sorry, Max Overgrowth into... Yeah, I'm tempted to double target Serena. My reason for that... He could... If he just protects, though, he's... Oh, my God. If he protects here, I think I lose. I think I've got to go after the Sylveon with Arcanine. At least go after the Sylveon with Arcanine. At the very minimum. I could go for Max Darkness here and drop a special defense, which certainly would help Blastoise out. Yeah. What I was scared of is if he decides to try and waste my... He does protect. Okay. So this is absolutely fine, because what I'm able to do here is go for the Max Darkness, drop a special defense so that Ice Beam from Blastoise should be a knockout now. Let's not forget, I can always switch out my Rotom and remove my special attack drop. But at least we're going for a Max Darkness, and at least that is going to get a special defense drop onto the Serena. Now, Arcanine is the fastest thing on the team here, So he obviously expected me to Flare Blitz into this arena, which is why I went for the Flare Blitz into Sylveon instead, because I was very scared of that Protect. I was more scared about him switching out directly back out into Primarina though. But obviously I've got a Grass Electric type in the field, so he didn't want to do that. So Primarina's going to come in here, and it's highly likely that he wants to Dynamax. And potentially go for an Ice move. So, to waste a turn of that Dynamax, I'm going to go for a Max Guard into Rotom. And I'm just going to click Flare Blitz into Serena. It's likely he tries to go for a double Protect here. But I'm just going to have to hope that he doesn't get it. Because if he does get it, then I possibly just lose. Because Serena, I think, outspeeds Blastoise off the top of my head. That might be wrong, but they're pretty similar in speed here. But Max Guard, hopefully I can, like, maybe lure an attack from the Primarina. Like, lure, like, a Max Hailstorm into it. Into the Rotom. There is the Dynamax. He may even Dynamax Primarina as a way of being able to take the Flare Blitz. Like I said, I don't think he does that. I think he Dynamaxes the Primarina. He does Dynamax Primarina, okay. So, are we going to see the Ice Beam? Are we going to see the Water move here? What are we going to see? Rotom Max Guards. Arcanine does Flare Blitz here, which is going to put me in a 2v1 scenario. Now, if he is targeting my Rotom, this would mean that I can switch up my Rotom and refresh my special attack. If he targets my Arcanine, that's going to really suck. He actually goes Max Strike here, so he does not have a Max Water move. Is Max Strike enough to knock out Arcanine? It unfortunately is. It unfortunately is. And that's going to drop Rotom speed. So it's a really, really clever play from my opponent. We do see he's Life Orbed, however. And we do know that we can... Oh my god, I just hope he doesn't have Energy Ball. So we know he's got Hyper Voice. We know he's Life Orbed. So if you're Life Orb, it's likely you have Protect. So if you've got Hyper Voice, you probably don't have another Water move if you've just gone for Max Strike then. Unless you specifically wanted the speed drop. Let's go for an Ally Switch. And go for a... I suppose I could try Shell Smash. Because if he Energy Balls, Rotom will take that. Or Rotom... actually, does Rotom take it? I don't know if Rotom would take an Energy Ball. I mean, it's like... Or a Max Overgrowth. It's Life Orb boosted by the grassy terrain. Blastoise is going to Shell Smash. He ends up just going for the Max Starfall into Blastoise, which we're not taking that. There's no way we're taking that. I think we lose. Maybe I just played too passively with Rotom towards the end there. Maybe I should have been going for damage. I was kind of scared because of my special attack drop. But maybe I should have just been going for damage. The Ally Switch ended up proving a little bit pointless. So he doesn't have an Ice move, which tells me he probably had the Energy Ball. So if anything, I've probably done him a favour by doing that. Only way I win this now is probably outspeeding him, which I don't think I do after that Max Strike. Oh, we do. So I need the... No, I can't even paralyze him because of Max Starfall or whatever. So yeah, that'll be a good game. So we're even with this team. I could have played that a lot better towards the end. I don't feel like Dynamaxing Rotom was probably the correct play in the situation that I was in. I should have waited to the end so I could Dynamax it to counter my opponent's Dynamax. That's the way I should have played it. I thought he would play a little bit more risky in that situation when his back was against the wall. I thought we might see... I don't know. I just thought we might see a prediction, so I just thought I'd try and get some more damage with the Rotom. Anyway, that's that game. We'll see you on Friday for the last couple of games with this team. I've been quite enjoying it to a point. It's nice to see Blastoise really put into, be able to pull off the Shell Smash, even against a team that should have been so good against it. But yeah, like I say, you want to try this team out, code's in the description below, and I'll see you next time.